Hey guys, it's Melissa Kathryn. Welcome to Done with Dieting Live. I'm really excited to be with you. I hope that you guys really enjoyed the Done with Dieting event. And for those, I'm just going to move this hair right here. There we go. So today we are talking about what is it you're really hungry for. And so I'm just going to give it a few minutes before I get started to let everybody get on today's Facebook Live. So I'm Melissa Kathryn. I am the host of Done with Dieting Live. I am also the founder of Done with Dieting and Weight Loss for Life. And you can go to melissakathryn, KATHRYN.com to find out more about me and my background. But I will share with you a bit here. So I am a holistic nutritionist. I am not about diets or deprivation. What I am about is helping you to get the results that you need so you can stop being stuck in a yo-yo dieting cycle that's causing you to feel like you're going crazy. I'm about food freedom, and I'm an emotional eating expert. I was a fitness competitor and ex-fitness trainer, and bring that to my work as well as a mindset coach, intuitive, and so much more. So this is what I really tie into my entire holistic approach, which is what I teach in my programs, Weight Loss for Life, Body Bliss, and in Done with Dieting. And for any of you that are looking for more support, you can head into, this is complimentary support for you. I created a program that I actually wish would have been around when I was struggling with these same experiences and issues of just dieting and never really getting to where I wanted to be, and having my weight loss just be a fleeting experience, and then always comparing myself to that one size that I never seemed to attain for too long. And if I did, it was through a lot of deprivation and a lot of calorie counting and not really having too much fun. So all of my programs are really about living more and enjoying the life that you have. And you'll see on my website and in anything that I do that my tagline is always thrive in life in a body that you love. That's what I'm all about. And we're not meant to struggle, and weight loss is actually not hard, and it's not meant to be hard. And your life is meant to be experienced and lived. It's not meant to be constantly consumed by your weight or by dieting. So anybody that's on here right now, I'd love if you could just say where you're from and who you are. I don't see anybody at, I don't see, I mean, give this a minute. I always have my laptop here because Facebook gets a little slow on my computer. All right. So when you get on, just say where you are from and what brought you here today. As I said, we're talking about being, I don't know why this is doing this. Okay, as I said, we are talking about being done with dieting, and as this is Done with Dieting Live, and what it is that you're really craving. So stay on until the end because we are going to post a free gift for you to help you further with this. But when we are talking about what is it you're really craving, have you noticed that you can feel like your cravings are driving you crazy? That you have one taste of sugar or one, you have a bite of something and then you can't stop thinking about it. So a few things that I want you to do. I want you to, just gonna get this page open here. Okay. Then I can actually see who's on right now. So again, just say where you're from and what brought you here. And we love hearts and we love thumbs up. The more hearts and the more thumbs up, the better. So make sure to do that. I don't know why my computer's being super slow, so I'm just going to focus over here. So here's the thing. When we're getting into what we're really hungry for, what we're really craving, the chances are you often think that it's foods, and you start to go in and you find yourself standing in front of the refrigerator with both doors open and just sitting there and thinking. And the truth is, if you don't know what you're hungry for, chances are you're not actually hungry. You're hiding and keeping yourself from something that you're actually meant to be doing. You're procrastinating. So when we're sitting in front of cabinets, when we're sitting there, we're like, I'm hungry, but I just don't know what for. You're really not. What you are is lonely, bored, tired, like I said, procrastinating or doing everything other than what it is that you need to be doing to get to the other side of whatever is coming up for you. Whether it's feeling an emotion, saying something that's on your mind, there's a multitude of things, but you generally know what they are. If you also have experienced that 4 o'clock witching hour, where you notice that every day at 4, you kind of are like spacing out, and you find yourself getting up in the office and going to the kitchen, or you work from home and do the same thing, or you're eating all your kids' food, or you're just snacking to snack. Again, when we're really looking at being done with dieting, and my whole entire concept is around losing weight and keeping it off for life without a diet, it's about recognizing when we've created patterns of behavior that aren't serving us, that are just there as a way to cope or deal with life. So these habits are created, and they're based off of not actually wanting to feel what it is that's going on for us in that moment. So what I want you to get is, and I want you all to have a pen and a paper. So for the next so many minutes, let's just say 30 minutes, I want you to just focus here. So if you're at work, put your headphones in. If you're not at work and you're doing this, try not to be doing a few other things, because the truth is we actually can't really multitask. And that means that you're going to completely miss what you could get from here and from this. And if you actually stay present to this and you get 1 to 2 ahas, they will dramatically shift the way that you are eating and the way that you are responding to your emotions if you stay with me and actually do the things that I'm going to bring us through. So as we're doing this right now, okay. Oh, now I can see. Great. Perfect. I don't know why this isn't showing up, but so I just want to say this. We've got Angela, I'm so happy to have you here. Jennifer, I'm so happy to have you here as well, girl. And Tiffany, and for anybody else that's on the line, thank you so much. I'm really happy to have you, and I want to support you. So what I want you to do is please post in a chat box what you want support with. You came here today, I'm talking about what are we really hungry for? What do you feel like you're really hungry for? What do you want support with around your cravings? And also just any questions that are coming up from you that maybe are coming up around the Done with Dieting series, or different things that you've been noticing that you have questions around within yourself. I'd also love to know, what are your personal goals? What are those things for you? So please keep me posted. I'm going to keep refreshing this so that I can see your comments. And I still love, like I said, I still love having you here. So to continue on with this, when we're looking at what we're really hungry for, the thing is, it's not food. So honestly, ladies, your appetite isn't that big. And I say this because, sometimes people will sit there and go, I just can't ever stop eating. I can't ever stop eating. Usually there's an insatiable need that we have, where there's an insatiable need for something that's been unmet within us. So on a different Facebook Live, and you can go back and watch any of the ones that I've done, I've talked about unmet desires and what really happens with our desires when they're not met. And when we have desires that aren't met, we will seek them out. And usually if we have a desire to be heard and we don't use our voice, we will seek out that desire, and we will end up acting it out with food, or we will act it out in some other way, in some other form. So I really want you to get that. So anytime, and I just got off a call with one of the women in our Weight Loss for Life group, and I was saying, you're not metabolizing your emotions, therefore they're getting stuck in the body. There's stuck energy in the body. So I'm going to go into that more, but when we're staying with this, what are we really hungry for? So I want you to get a pen and paper, and I want you to write these 2 things down. There are 2 types of cravings that we have based on our emotions, okay? I've worked with thousands of women around the world, and I really, really understood this, and I broke this down in my book, Eat Right for Your Archetype, where I broke down 4 different forms of, based on your personality type, right? Your archetype, 4 different forms of self-sabotage that we have that show up. And it's the perfectionist, it's the avoider, it's the rebel, and it's the nurturer. under all of those, after working with all of these women, I kept seeing these patterns. And I saw within myself too. And it took me 10 years for me to really dial in the method that I teach, which is the MK method. And I share this with you because there's two types of cravings that I would see women experience. And it would be a head craving and a heart craving. And they would always sit there and go, and it was always dialed in specifically to specific foods. So I want you to get that there's two emotional bodies. We've got the head and we've got the heart. Write these down. So you're going to put head on one. So take your piece of paper and you're going to draw a line down the middle. And you're going to put head on one side and heart on another. Okay? So you've got your head craving, you've got your heart craving. It's really got hot in here. I know I have a lot of hair, but I'm like, I feel like I'm wearing like a fur coat. I'm like, what's going on? So got a head craving and a heart craving. So you've got them down. So what I really found was in studying all of these women was, wow, it keeps coming back to these different forms of self-sabotage that are directly linked to these archetypes. Now I'll do another Facebook Live on these archetypes, but let's just stay dialed in because I want you to get the nuggets from today so that you can actually action them. Remember, I'm about results. We can't action 50,000 things at once. So I want you to stay with me and let's really resolve what you're really hungry for. So this will give you huge ahas and a lot of awareness. And I really would love to hear from you and what you get from today. So you've got your head craving and a heart craving. And also if you stay on until the end, you're gonna get a worksheet that we created for you guys where you can actually go through a series of questions too, but that doesn't mean not to do what I'm doing with you right now. So make sure to do that, okay? So especially those of you at work, you never know when you might get called off. So depending on where you are in the world. Okay, so while you're here, head craving, heart craving, there's two emotional bodies, that's what they are, head and heart. They're usually directly linked to distinct foods that we choose, okay? So I want you to get this. Head cravings, generally, you're wanting something crunchy. The craving is associated, so this might be you. So write these down. For a head craving, you want something crunchy. You want something that's more savory or salty. I want you to think of like party foods like chips, trail mix, nuts, like you just like to crunch. Maybe it's, if you're really into healthy food, maybe it's crudité, but you find that you can eat like an entire bag of, sugar snap peas or carrots or celery, and you're just sitting there and you crunch, and before you know it, like the whole bag's gone, right? And then your stomach hurts and all these other things. So, or it's a bag of chips or it's popcorn. You just like to crunch. Generally, this is a head craving. And what I really say to you, and I want you to write this question down, what is it that you really want to chew on in life? What do you really want to chew on in life? This is not food. What the food is doing is distracting you from the emotions that you don't want to feel, from the thing in front of you that you don't want to action. Maybe you have a work project, right? Maybe you find that you're always going into your desk drawer to snack on almonds, or you're getting up from your desk every time that you get stressed out, or you have a project or something that you have to deal with that just feels overwhelming. And this has become your coping mechanism. This has become your space for dealing, right? So we go towards those foods. Got it? Maybe it's jicama. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be unhealthy. It can be, like I said, vegetables. But you also want to notice, it doesn't matter. This isn't about food. It doesn't matter what type of food. What matters is you're using food instead of processing and dealing with an emotion. And that's become your triggered response to that emotion. So every time you feel overwhelmed or anxiety, you go to food. You need to crunch, or maybe it's you eat mints, or you're an excessive gum chewer, right? Nya, 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 nya. Like, it's what do you want to chew on in life? This is, again, associated with the head. What you're actually lacking is you're feeling a lack of control, okay? Head cravings are from a lack of control. You need to crunch on things because you feel like you need to chew on things because you're feeling a lack of control. Okay? So that makes sense. Does anybody have questions around head cravings before I continue in today's lesson on Done with Dieting Live? I feel like I'm a news anchor. All right. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is so crazy slow right now. course, these things happen in the midst of Facebook Live. So I'm going to continue since I can't see. Heart cravings. So the heart craving is the other body. And the heart craving, let me get the right side of my body here. This is where my heart is. Heart cravings are generally from a lack of fulfillment. Okay? You're experiencing a lack of fulfillment. So when this happens, we want to start to recognize, here we go. I just want to make sure there's no questions. Okay. Don't see any. So here's the thing. Heart cravings are from a lack of fulfillment. Heart cravings, generally you are craving foods that are savory, smooth, creamy, ice creams, cakes, cheeses, things that are a bit more decadent, and very savory and indulgent, if you will. And these generally come from a lack of fulfillment. Well, when we have a lack of fulfillment, what I really say to somebody is where there's gaps, you will fill that lack, you will fill those gaps with food. I'll repeat it again. Where there's lack, you will fill those gaps. You will fill the gaps in your life, the gaps within yourself, the gaps within relationships, within your career, within spirituality, within fun, within play, within all the things that you're really wanting. You're going to fill those gaps with food because that's become your way of being, right? So again, where there's lack, you'll fill those gaps with food. When we have a heart craving, there's a void there. And when we feel that void, this is hard because generally we do want to numb out those feelings. So it's either past hurts, fears, areas where there's lack of fulfillment within ourselves, within our relationship, within our career, things that we're not dealing with, that are unprocessed, people that have hurt us that we have not made amends with, people that we've hurt that we haven't made amends with, things that just feel uneasy, that we've just shoved down, that stay in the heart. They're hurting the heart. It's like a dulling in the heart. So what I want to say to you is, what is it that you're really desiring most, right? What is the void? What is the lack? What is it that you're really wanting to say, do, feel, express, be, that you're not allowing yourself? And maybe that's showing up in many areas for you. And maybe not. Maybe it's just one area. But it could be a big area and it could feel overwhelming. Or you could have a lot of fear around it. You know, many times when I do this with private clients and in, intensives, people will say, well, I'm afraid because I don't think I love my husband anymore. Or I'm really unhappy in my career and I have been, and I'm scared because what I really want to do just feels really far off. And so what we do in both of these scenarios, head and heart, we eat because we think that the issue is our weight. See, we actually don't, but since the mind's a survival technique, it says, oh, it's super smart. And it's like, oh no, if we put weight on, or if we're unhappy with our weight, since we're afraid of the unknown and we don't know what that looks like or feels like, we actually are going to put the weight on. And then we know the way that person is, right? Your mind's like, we know how we are. We're going to end up focusing all our attention on the fact that we need to lose weight because that feels safer, that feels doable, and we've done that before. Even if we've gained the weight back, we've still done that before, so we know what that looks like and feels like. So we can just get another diet, doesn't feel as scary, and that way too, we can distract ourselves with feeling like we're taking care of ourselves, with feeling like we're doing what we need to do in order to take care of what's bothering us. And then once we get this weight off, then we'll deal with the career. Then we'll talk because this might make my relationship better. Or then I might have more confidence to go after my dreams. So I just need to fix me first. And what you're not getting and not seeing is that it's not about fixing you, because that thing within you is still going to be there. So even when you lose the weight, you're going to gain it back again because the fear, the underriding emotion that's driving you to want to eat when you're not hungry, that's actually keeping the excess weight on you, or has, maybe subsided for a few weeks so that you could lose weight to feel really good, and then you gain it back again to then beat yourself down and start the whole yo-yo cycle again, right? I really want you to get that that's what will happen. So it's actually about giving yourself the permission to want and allow your desires, the permission to have what you want, the permission to dream, and have your goals become a reality, to have your dreams become a reality. See? So the more that you push down that which you truly desire and hear, the more you will try to eat to make up for the lack of fulfillment, the lack of saying yes to you, the lack of feeling enough with who you are inside. So I hope that you wrote both of these down. We have heart cravings and head cravings. Heart craving, what are we missing in life? What is the void within ourselves or within our life that needs to be filled? What are we lacking that we're desiring? What are our unmet desires? Right? What are the foods associated with that? Cake, cookies, ice cream, pasta, cheeses, rich sauces, any decadent dessert, any indulgence. I also want you to take it a step further. Whatever your trigger emotions are with those, so maybe your emotion is sadness, emptiness, loneliness, boredom, anger, lack of fulfillment. The heart craving is always around a lack of fulfillment in some area of one's life. So when we get triggered with a lack of fulfillment, when we don't believe that we're enough, when we don't feel enough, when we don't feel like we're enough exactly as we are, that we're worthy and deserving of our desires, it triggers in us something from our childhood. It triggers from us a feeling when we first felt that way and we started to use food to soothe. And whether we had food that was given to us in a joyous occasion, like, oh, I'm not really feeling enough, but it was my birthday and I got birthday cake, right? Or, whatever it is. Or there's, I always use this story of, I had one client, and I think this is just such a beautiful representation of it. And as we went through this, she was like, I'm totally recognizing that at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm constantly wanting something like chocolatey and some sort of croissant. It doesn't even matter, but it's some sort of chocolate pastry type. And Melissa, I'm finding myself going out in New York City, at this 4 o'clock hour when other people are going and smoking and doing other things. And I'm buying this, even though I'm well aware now from our work together of what's going on. And I said, so let's take this a step further. And when we went in a step further, I said, what is it that chocolate, why does it need to be chocolate? What is it about chocolate? And she's like, well, I just love chocolate. I go, no, let's take this back. When in your childhood or in your, teens or what have you, or college, whatever it is, whatever memories in your life, where do you have fond memories around chocolate? She was like, oh, I never thought of this. My mom and I used to bake chocolate cakes on Sunday, and then we would eat, we'd eat a slice together. And what had actually come about for her was she had relocated from California to New York to be with her fiance. She was missing her friends. She was missing her mother. She was missing her family. And her fiance traveled a lot, and she wasn't really grounding yet in New York, and that's what it was. She didn't long for the chocolate cake. She longed for connection. She longed for comfort. She longed for her mom. She longed for more family. So I said, I want you to start FaceTiming your family, Skype, Zoom, whatever you want to do, more often. And I want you to call your mom more often. Are you calling her? And she's like, oh, it's so funny that you said that. I actually, with the time difference, we just haven't really gotten into a good routine. Once we solved that, like that, she was releasing weight because she wasn't eating an extra, 250, 500 calories each day on this Danish or whatever it was that she felt compelled to have, even though mentally she was completely aware of what she was doing and that it wasn't for her highest good. There was something that she needed emotionally. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So then I want us to take it to the heart craving, or to the head craving. So the head's up here. It's a lack of control. Notice if you're the cruncher, what don't you feel that you have control over in that moment? What feels uneasy for you? What do you want to chew on in that moment? What is that food? Why do you need that food? What is it that you are distracting yourself from instead of feeling, instead of addressing, right? Just like when some people smoke when they're agitated, or they just sit there and they go and grab a drink, or they go and buy stuff. Like, we start using food in other realms. It's kind of more socially acceptable, and it's detrimental because it's not working for you anymore. Sometimes food serves a purpose in coping when we don't have another skill set. Well, another skill set. I'm teaching it to you right now. So I hope this is all making sense to you. I want to open this up to questions before we end, and just let me know if there are any questions that you have around this, or are there any ahas, anything that's showing up for you right now where you're saying, yes, like, I totally get this. Oh my God, light bulb moment. I'm using food in this way, and this is what I'm really wanting instead. My Wi-Fi is like not working. Okay. So I don't know why. Okay. Yes. So I just have a quote. I have that quote written in my planner from last week. Perfect. Darn, I'm late. Brandy, don't worry about it. We'll be reposting this. So yes, Angela, do you guys have any questions around head and heart cravings? Are you seeing how this is showing up for you? So I really want you to get, more than anything, you are not broken. Your body's not broken. You haven't wrecked your metabolism. You're not hopeless. Weight loss can be yours. Let's really get to, I'm about recognizing what are the emotional implications. It is our emotions that need to be met, felt, expressed, dealt with. The more that we push them down, the more we will seek out food. The more you suppress what you really want to say, the more it builds up in the body. And it either shows up as disease, or it shows up where you just end up freaking out on somebody and you're like, oh my God, where did that just come from? Or you break down and just start crying and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I'm a crazy person, but it's just been so much going on. Come on, how many times have we all been there, right? Well, what if we actually started, when I'm saying metabolize your emotions, I mean the emotion is coming in, you're allowing it to register. I am pissed off right now. That's what I mean. Instead of just, no, it's fine. I'm fine. No, I'm good. I'm just going to slap a smile on it. I'm all good, as so many women are taught to do. I was taught to do that. Don't be so emotional. Don't be so sensitive. You're crying? Don't cry. You can't cry. You need to be strong. You need to be this. This is all pre-programming. Feel your emotions. Allow expression. Through feeling, right? Feeling is healing. Through feeling, we actually can relieve ourselves of the need to go to the fridge. It's not food that you want. You want to be expressed. You want to be felt. You want to be heard. You want to feel respected. You want to know that you're acknowledged, that you're accepted, that you're approved of exactly as you are, that you're more than enough exactly as you are, that you are deserving, that you are worthy. And what I want to share with you is, instead of looking outward for all of these, start to look inward and give it to yourself. That's who you need it from. Your little girl all up in here is like, love me, hear me, feel what I'm telling you. That's the body, this emotional body. It's got more answers than you know. Every one of my private clients that I was on a call with today, we did body work, and their body had all the answers that they needed. All of them. Now, I'm an intuitive. I'll be the first person to say, but once you're in touch with this, it guides you to everything that you need. It wants you to be your ideal weight. It wants you to be healthy. It wants to heal your gut. It wants you to move. It wants you to be happy. It wants you to have all of those things. It's just you keep driving from up here with the I should, I need to, I have to. Anytime we're telling ourselves I should, I need to, I have to, nobody wants to do anything they should do, need to do, or have to do. How many of you say, I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it? How many of you know everything to do and you still aren't doing it? We all know how to take care of ourselves. You guys know how to, listen, go Google whatever diet you want to find out about. You can find it on YouTube. You also know how to work out. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you taking care of yourselves daily? There is more at play. It's called this. Our mind only knows what we've taught it. And if it's set up to survive, then it only knows what you've taught it. It doesn't know new ways of being. We have to teach it to them. We have to teach it to ourselves. How do we do that? We drop in here. This is what I teach. So stick with me here. Show up here every Thursday. I do Done with Dieting Live. Each week I have a different topic. Some weeks I bring on guest experts. It's always at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Set your timers, show up here. Ask me anything. We are working on having awesome free gifts for you every week. They're being curated right now as we speak. We have a ton in the lineup. We have one for you today. I'm always open to any questions, anything that you want to ask me. Get spot coaching here, get supported. We have a Done with Dieting Facebook group that is a closed group. You have to ask to be a part of it. Go to Done with Dieting, and my community manager will approve you as long as you're not soliciting business. That's not what we want. It's a safe, secure space for you to be supported and to get inspiration, motivation, to share what works for you and what doesn't, and to ask for support in between. This is a movement, Done with Dieting. It's about thriving in life in a body that you love. Get into the heart craving, the head craving. Recognize how all of this plays into your life. I promise you, put that into action just in this next week. Bring it to next week. Bring any questions, your ahas. And next week, we're going to have another Facebook Live. And next week is all about how to be healthy for Halloween. So you don't want to miss that, because I have amazing tips. So not only am I like an ex-dieter for life, but I was a fitness competitor. I am a nutritionist. I'm a clean eating fanatic. And I've got tons of good swaps because sweet treats are my jam. So I've got a lot of things that I can tell you to do. I'm not about dieting. I'm not about deprivation, but I am about you feeling and looking your best. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss that. And we're going to have goodies for you when you come and show up live. So come share with your friends. We'll be sending you an email about it as well. If you like this, please share this with people. The information that I'm sharing here is super important, and it's about really being done and thriving in a body that you love, and no longer beating yourself down, and truly embracing the beauty that is you, and that's what you deserve. So let's spread this message about more women being enough exactly as they are. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying you need to just throw your legs up and go eat cronuts and call it a day, but it's in the acceptance, in the surrender, in the allowance that we actually heal completely, and we get the bodies that we've been wanting for so long without the struggle. So just recognize where you're going against what your body's actually telling you. And the more that you can tune into this, which I will teach to, the more that you will have the answers that you seek and keep asking for from others, because they're all within you. All right. So remember, it's about your head cravings. It's about your heart cravings. Share this with as many people as you can. I would so love that. Hearts and thumbs up make all the difference, because for some reason Facebook recognizes hearts and thumbs. And then things get boosted and shared with more people, which makes a big difference in spreading this message. And I'm just honored to be here with you and have this time with you. I will see you next week. And if there's anything that you ever want me to speak about, please email hello@MelissaKathryn, and I'm happy to make that a weekly topic. All right. Thanks so much, guys. And I will be with you soon. See you next week.